There is a reason the world fears the mind that cannot be manipulated, not because it's loud or aggressive, but because it's untouchable, silent, certain, unshakable. Friedrich Nietzsche once warned, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." But what happens when someone succeeds? When a mind becomes so strong, so self-possessed, that the collective no longer understands it? In this video, we're going to enter the labyrinth of Nietzsche's most misunderstood teachings. We'll uncover why true mental power isolates, why the weak instinctively fear it, and why this ancient warning is more relevant today than ever before. Stay with me. What you're about to hear may change how you see yourself and the world. Long before Nietzsche walked the earth, ancient sages and mystics whispered of the terrifying power of an awakened mind. In the shadows of lost civilizations, Atlantis, Lemuria, or even the hidden schools of Egypt, there were those who believed that thought itself could bend reality. These weren't just philosophers. They were initiates, guardians of a secret, that the strongest weapon isn't a sword or army, but consciousness forged in solitude. Friedrich Nietzsche wasn't born into this wisdom. He remembered it. His writings echo the ancient concept of the Übermensch, not merely as a superior being, but as one who has risen above the mental noise of the masses, a sovereign soul. Why is this knowledge feared? Because throughout history, powerful minds disrupted empires, rewrote truth, and exposed illusions. From Socrates to Galileo, to spiritual rebels like Buddha, those who dared think differently were labeled dangerous, mad, even heretical. Nietzsche's warning isn't just about philosophy. It's about survival. In a world that thrives on conformity, the mind that sees too clearly becomes a threat, and threats are always silenced. So, what exactly makes a powerful mind so terrifying to the weak? It begins with perception. A strong mind sees beyond appearances. It questions what others accept. It discerns manipulation, detects masks, and refuses to play the roles society assigns. This kind of clarity unsettles people. It strips away their illusions, forcing them to confront truths they'd rather ignore. Nietzsche believed that most people don't actually want truth. They want comfort. They want validation for their beliefs, not challenges to them. And when someone comes along who thinks independently, who doesn't bend to social norms or emotional manipulation, they're seen as arrogant, even dangerous. But here's the deeper layer. A powerful mind does not need approval. It is self-sustained. It draws strength from solitude, not popularity. It's calm in chaos, unmoved by flattery or threat. And that, more than anything, exposes the fragility of weaker minds, who build their identities on external validation. This silent defiance, this inner fortress, is what frightens others, because it reminds them of how far they've strayed from their own inner strength. But Nietzsche's warning doesn't stop at discomfort. It ventures into something darker. The powerful mind becomes a threat, not just because it sees truth, but because it cannot be controlled. Society is built on invisible leashes: fear, guilt, conformity. The weak wear them willingly, believing obedience is virtue. But the strong, they sever those ties. They think independently, act deliberately, and speak truths that pierce illusions like daggers. And here's the paradox. The more clarity you gain, the more isolated you become. Nietzsche called this the burden of the overman. The one who rises above herd mentality often walks alone. Not because he's cold or cruel, but because few can bear the weight of their own shadow, let alone another's illumination. To the unawakened, a powerful mind feels like a mirror too bright to look into. It exposes their lack of direction, their self-deception, their comfort in mediocrity. So they attack it, not because it's evil, but because it's free. The truly dangerous ones are not those with power, but those with inner power. That, Nietzsche knew, is the force that reshapes the world from the inside out. So how do you cultivate a mind so powerful it unsettles the ordinary and awakens the extraordinary? Begin with radical self-honesty. Nietzsche believed that most people lie, not to others, but to themselves. Every day, question your beliefs. Ask yourself, is this mine, or was it programmed into me? Burn away illusions like dead wood in a sacred fire. Second, embrace solitude, not as isolation, but as initiation. The mind finds its strength in stillness, away from noise and influence. Walk alone. Think deeply. Let discomfort refine you. Third, train your will. Nietzsche admired the individual who could act against their emotions, not from repression, but from clarity. Discipline isn't punishment, it's liberation. Start small. Deny a distraction. Delay gratification. Speak your truth even when your voice shakes. And finally, embrace your shadow. The parts of you you hide, suppress, fear. They hold your greatest power. Study them. Integrate them. Because a mind that fears nothing within is feared by everything without. These aren't just habits, they're rituals. And with each practice, you're not just building a strong mind, you're forging a weapon of truth, a force that quietly disrupts everything built on lies. A powerful mind is not loud. It doesn't seek attention. It doesn't boast. It radiates. And that silent radiance, clear, unshaken, unapologetically aware, terrifies the weak. Not because it threatens them physically, but because it reflects everything they're afraid to face within themselves. Nietzsche didn't write for the masses. He wrote for the few who dare to become, to rise beyond comfort, beyond conformity, and into the fire of transformation. So the question isn't, why does a powerful mind scare others? The real question is, are you ready to become one? If this truth stirred something deep within you, then let it grow. Like, comment, and subscribe, because your journey into the hidden forces of the mind has only just begun.